This evening we are going to be dissecting lamb hearts. Now, I completely forgot I didn't have my gloves on to do this, so I'm going to put this down and get my gloves on. Whilst I'm doing this, my amazing assistant mum, who is a professional doctor, will be talking you through what we'll be doing today.
So we're just going to have a bit of fun today looking at these lamb hearts. They're slightly different from human hearts, but it won't matter for what we're going to be doing today. The anatomy is slightly different, but that's not important. So this is a lamb heart here, and it's about the shape and size of probably a child's heart. Freya's heart would be about this big.
I put it on the wrong hand.
But obviously, when the heart is in your chest and all the vessels are joined up to your circulatory system, then the heart is going to be beating, so it won't be still like this. It's a very dynamic organ in the body.
Excuse me.
This here has just come off the front of the heart. This is the pericardial fat. This is quite a lot of pericardial fat. You wouldn't really want this much pericardial fat around your heart because it is a risk of heart disease. So that's just come off the front there. So the really tough outside lining around the heart here, the membrane that surrounds the heart here, is called the pericardium. Bit of a fancy word, but it just means the thick membrane which surrounds the heart on the front there. Are you ready?
I am ready. So, today we are going to be dissecting a lamb's heart. As I said, we have, we'll be talking through what we'll be using. This might seem random, but we have some straws, some scissors, and 2 knives, extremely sharp. So,
Do you want to just stop it there and then we can think about what we're going to take?
Dr. Johnny, we have this heart right here, right?
We do.
Could you possibly talk me through some of these interesting facts?
Yes, of course. So, as we were saying, a lamb's heart is very similar to a human heart. You can see here that the butcher has already sliced into the left ventricle. And if I open it up there, that's the inside of the ventricle that you can see. The cut surface here, I don't know whether you can see, it looks very similar to any other sort of steak or meat that you might have come across, and that's because obviously the heart is a muscle. It's just a very specialised muscle.
Can I show them this?
Of course you can.
So in this one, I think you can see a lot better because it's a bit bigger.
Oh yeah, it's good, isn't it?
There's a lot more sort of tendons and things to see. I don't know, you know those like
Turn it around a little bit.
white lines there? I don't know if you can see, but one second. Okay, so we just moved outside because it's just a bit better lighting and we want to make sure that you can see the things that we'll be doing. So, if you have a look in there, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, that's good.
The white thing here is a
Valve.
And yeah, there, the strings there
Are tendons that attach the...
are tendons that attach to the valve and will pull and shut it when the heart is beating.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, I'm just going to demonstrate for you. So, this straw will go up through the left ventricle, up through this
Valve.
valve, and pop. I don't know if you can see there,
Yeah.
but it will.
And that's the atria, isn't it?
Yeah.
The left atria.
So this is the left atria, and it'll just.
This is the left side of the heart, and blood comes in from the lungs into the left atrium through the pulmonary veins, and it goes into the left atria, which is this little chamber in here, just through there, and then it will go through the valve in the left side of the heart and into the left ventricle. From there, the blood will go from the left ventricle and it's pushed into the rest of the body through this big vessel up here, which is the main artery of the body, and that's called the aorta. Freya's now dissecting through the right side of the heart.
So we're just cutting until we find that space there. I'll just cut a little bit deeper.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Watching your fingers.
Yep.
And so then if we just blunt dissect out like that, you can see that is the right side of the heart, and that's the right ventricle. So Freya's dissected through into the right ventricle now, which is this chamber here. You can see quite nicely the intraventricular septum as well, which is this sort of fleshy bit here. And you can see a cross section of it there. That's the bit that divides the left and the right ventricle.
So here we have the right side of the heart, and just here we have the pulmonary
Valve.
valves.
You've done a great job actually of dissecting that out. That's beautiful. If you're so, I'm a radiologist, I'm allowed to be weird.
Okay.
So she's done a lovely job there of showing you the valve of the right side of the heart.
That's the valve of the right side. So if you stick your hand up there, you would come out here
Exactly
with the
right.
right.
Exactly right.
Atrium.
So the right side of the heart is responsible for the getting the deoxygenated blood from all over the body, where it's been used, into the heart, sending it around the lungs, and then it goes into the left side of the heart for it again to be sent around the body. So you can see here the main vein of the body is up here. It's called the inferior and superior vena cavas, which is this little vessel here, and that goes into the right atria, and then it's pumped through this little valve here into the right ventricle, which is here, and then from the right ventricle it goes through the pulmonary arteries, which are these paired vessels here with the straw through it, and then it's pushed through the lungs to get some lovely oxygen to be able to make your body work beautifully. So that is the right side of the heart. This is a cross section of the upper part of the heart. You can see this white material here is fat. It's quite a fatty heart, this one. You wouldn't really want this heart to be yours. And you can see these little chambers here are the two atria and the two ventricles, which are the chambers that pump the blood all over the body and bring it back to the body. So let's see if we can do another cross.
Okay, so when I'm feeling this heart, at the top, and no one's told me about this yet, at the top, I don't know if you can see, but there are these lines and then this hard, a bit to squeeze. So I'm going to try and cut that and have a look what's inside.
Yeah.
So
What do you think those little furrows might be for?
Of the heart. What furrows where?
The little furrows on the surface of the heart.
Oh,
there.
so these bits?
Yeah.
Are they just like where the veins are?
Yes, that's exactly right, where the
veins
vessels
would be.
go.
Yeah, the vessels. So where's that hard part? There. Okay.
Just don't chop your fingers off.
I can try. So we'll go a bit lower down so we have more of a view. So if we cut that bit and then cut this bit in half, like so.
Oh, that's a lovely example of the tendons on the.
Oh, it's very tough heart.
Lovely example of the tendons on the valves.
So.
Oh, can I just show that?
Yeah.
That's really lovely. That look at that. So you can it's got a really good example there of those little tendons that go from the heart muscle to this fibrous area here, which is the valve, and so they help keep the valve open and shut, which helps the blood flow in the right direction. So
and if
lovely
you have a
there.
look at these bits, Mum, can you just tell them what those little bits connect to?
These little bits up here.
Yeah.
I've got
So we've
idea.
just been discussing what this would be, and if we put that back together, interestingly enough, this is the inside of the atria.
Yeah. So you can see quite nicely here. You've got the where are we?
There.
You've got the ventricle here in the lower part. Then this is the valve here with the little tendons, and then here you've got the smaller atrium at the top here, and those are just muscle bands that are in the wall of the atrium.
Oh. Trying to pull it away from the shot. Right, so here we have quite a nice shot of the little hard bits.
Yeah. What do you think that might be?
That to me looks like the bit, you know, where it comes from the lungs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly right. Yeah, that's the main vessel, isn't it?
The main vessel, so it travels through. So I think the lungs, if that's the upper part, then the lungs go into that bit. And I don't know where it is now because I don't know where it is in all of this, but there should be another one for the bottom where it would come out in, I don't know what that's called, aorta?
Exactly
and
right.
it would come out there and go into the other parts of the body.
Exactly right. So that's a lovely example of that. So that's one of the, you can't really tell whether it's an artery or a vein. If I have a little feel of it, I think it's an artery. Can you feel how it feels a little bit bristly?
Yeah. Feels like quite bumpy.
So it's probably an artery because arteries have got thicker walls than veins. But yeah, so that...
Can't believe I found this.
Yeah, you did well. So that goes...
Nice and small.
That sits around the outside of the heart, and that's what gives the heart its blood supply.
There are 4 chambers, the left and right atria, and the left and right ventricle.